In today's video, I'm going to be showing you the secret backend infrastructure which we built into our client's coaching business, which scaled him from making $4,000 a month to $57,000 a month profit in only 6 weeks. And it's what I call the info lottery protocol. So we're going to go through a few different things in this video. The first thing is the hidden cost of ignoring the back end of your business, which for some reason a majority of coaches do, but that's the exact reason why they're stuck. I'm going to show you the entire back-end setup, step by step, of the info lottery protocol. So you can literally copy this into your business and 14x your business potentially in the next 4 to 6 weeks. And also the lessons I've learned from scaling him to $57,000 a month in a very short period of time. What I'll do differently to make even more, and also to make things a bit more seamless so that you can avoid those mistakes. And in between this video, I'm also going to be telling you some marketing nuggets, which I think would be super cool. So yeah, this is the screenshots. As you can see, for the month, we have $57,000, as you can see the big peak there. And from there, 40,000 came from Stripe, 27,000 from PayPal. And just to give you an idea of how big this growth and how important it was to my client, he went from running a business that totally relied on him doing everything, every small task, every big task, and he was working insanely hard every day, but the things he was completing, the wins he was getting was very small and insignificant, and that's why he was stuck. He was playing a game on a very low level, and he was stuck for multiple years. And he went from that to then creating a new backend infrastructure that ran itself to $57,000 a month without any manual input from the coach or without him burning out. And this was the easiest growth he's ever had in his coaching business. Not just in terms of how much cash he's made, as you can see over years, the average was $4,000-$5,000 a month. But this big peak not only gave him more cash, but also it allowed him to have more leverage in his coaching business without working as much. Okay, that's why this is super important. It's the easiest growth he's ever had. I also posted this on my Instagram, but the $57,000 we made, 51,000 of it came from a new offer which we launched, and we done the launch over 7 days. The remaining 5 to 6k came from the low to go offer which we scaled at the same time, and this was the cumulative cash we collected on each day of the launch, and also how many waitlist leads we had, over 550, 87 sales, at roughly 16% conversion rate from the entire waitlist, which is a really good percentage. And the offer price point was $597, and all of the sales were made through email. It was a D2C sort of funnel. So I'm going to break that down as well, the exact funnel we had and how we made these sales, but more so in terms of the back end side of things. So the first thing I want to start off with is like the price you're paying for ignoring your backend infrastructure. These are just a few consequences. So the first one is you're leaving hard-earned money on the table, right? Because if you're thinking about in the context of my client, for many years, I even posted this as well on my Instagram. So he had a huge organic audience, 300,000 followers. He was getting insane amount of views on every reel, hundreds of thousands of views. He was posting so many times a week, but he was stuck making a few grand a month. And that's the scary side of content creation, because no matter how many millions of views you're pulling in from your traffic sources, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, if you cannot monetize your audience effectively in a leveraged manner, then you're pretty much doomed, right? And that's the scary thing, because if you're posting so much content, you've got so much engagement from your videos, from your followers, then one little change, which is the back end, can literally bring you so much more money and allow you to serve so many more clients. And that's why you need to fix the backend infrastructure. Just to add to that, the info coaching market, it moves, very fast, faster than you think. And it doesn't reward those people or coaches who hesitate or take too long to implement changes. I've met coaches with millions of followers spending so much time trying to build out a course, or trying to fix the links in their bio, or trying to spend so much time on things which don't truly matter so much acutely in a short period of time. So yeah, it doesn't reward those who hesitate or take too long to implement. And that's why very few coaching businesses can survive and scale. The exact opportunity you have today will not exist tomorrow. So what I'm trying to say is, from this video, I've got some next steps for you after this. Implement it straight away and you'll see how your business changes. By the way, what I mean by info coaching businesses, info is when you're selling an information product online, so a digital product, to be a course. Coaching is if you're selling a service, so one-to-one coaching, group coaching, monthly, annual community, that sort of thing. So that's the first thing. The second thing is you have unpredictable, stressful cash flow month to month, right? because if you don't post content, the amount of money you make the next month, it decreases. And part of this is not just the content, but it's also because you're not tracking every step in your customer's journey. And this is something you must do, because if you don't track the data, then you don't know what you need to scale, right? You need to know exactly what's happening at each stage, so that even organically you can fix a specific bottleneck. So we can have, let's say, a lead to appointment to close percentage, like how many leads eventually turn into an appointment or conversation, and how many appointments or conversations turn into an actual conversion, an actual sale. So that's an example of things you want to track month to month. Because let's say your lead to conversation percentage is only 15%, which means if you have 100 leads coming into the door month to month before they buy your product or service, out of 100 leads, only 15 leads, turn into an appointment or into a conversation, right? So that's something you need to increase. So how can you engage with your leads more? How can you track them? Stuff like that. And the third thing is, if you don't fix your back end infrastructure, you'll be trapped doing low level work for as long as possible. And you'll be wasting more than 5 hours every single day. Day after day, you get pulled into, editing content, chasing DMs, building websites, writing copy, and also managing client related tasks. So I want to ask you a question right now. Is any of the tasks you're doing on a day-to-day basis, probably like things you're doing which I haven't even mentioned here, is that task going to truly get you better client results or more clients? And if it's not doing one of those two tasks, then you shouldn't be doing it, because it's low leverage. And that's not what the expert should be focusing on. Expert meaning you. You're the person who has all of the knowledge in that niche, and you help your clients get a specific transformation. So I want to show you here. This is what I call the Info Lottery protocol. And it's essentially, it consists of 3 different stages. The first is the traffic source. So where do your viewers come from? The second is the acquisition method. And the third is the conversion mechanism. So traffic source for lots of people could be YouTube videos, Instagram and TikTok. It brings awareness to your brand and it nurtures your audience with content. The acquisition method is, how do you turn these viewers, whether they're cold, warm or hot, in terms of how much they know you, like or trust you, how do you turn these viewers into leads? And then how do you turn these leads into actual sales, clients and customers? And then how can you maximize LTV from that point onwards, lifetime value? So this is the 3-step process. So no matter how many millions of views you get here, how engaged your audience is in whichever niche you're in, if you don't focus on the acquisition method and the conversion mechanism, which is part of the back end, which you can pretty much automate with systems and stuff, then you cannot really grow past multiple 5 or 6 figures a month in profit. That's why it's important to change. So at this point, we discussed why you need to pay attention to the back-end infrastructure of your business and how it will allow you to scale. So I want to give you an example here, okay? And I've got an AI-generated image of a restaurant because it's going to be a really cool example. But right now, you're the expert. You have all of the knowledge. If you're the only one working in your business, so even if you have a VA or some contractors, I wouldn't really count them as team members, to be honest, because they don't really make massive changes in the business, right? You're level 1 if you're by yourself. And this is the equivalent of being the manager of a restaurant. This could be a male or female, it's just AI generated. But it's the equivalent of being the manager of a restaurant who also plays the role of the waiter, who brings the food to the customers, who gives the menu to new customers and tells them which meals they could potentially buy, which one most people go for. So the one who basically sells the food, but also the manager being the chefs in the back making the food. Imagine doing everything in a business. Like, you're the manager, you're managing the entire thing, you're the waiter, and you're the chefs in the back. That's crazy. There's no way you can grow a massive coaching business with more clients or customers. Your income will be capped. You can't take on more one-to-one clients. You can't take on more one-to-many clients. You're really stuck, right? And that's going to lead to really bad results for your clients and customers, because you can't just focus on the most important thing, and it's going to cause you to lose customers or clients. And also you get a lack of creativity, because if you're so stuck in the business, you can't really think about the new offers you can launch. You can't think about how to change your acquisition method or how to, improve your conversion mechanism. That's why if you're the only one in your business, you're level 1, and your coaching business will be stuck. To unlock the next level of growth, level 2, you need a marketer. Okay, so let's turn this into green now. So a marketer is someone who understands your offer, is a really good copywriter, who basically is able to have a good eye for creatives, build a funnel, and does all of the selling for you. So this is like the waiter. So finally, you've got your own waiter. You can just focus in being in the back, just making the food and managing the whole restaurant. This person will talk to your leads basically and sell them. Then the next level of growth, actually just before that, with a marketer, you can 2 to 3x your coaching business automatically if you have the right marketer. Level 3, and this is the operator. So this is the person who's in the back. These are the chefs in the back making the food. So whilst you're running the business, you've got a waiter in place talking to all of the new customers, and the operators, the person or people in the back making the food. Now, this is how you scale to 6 figures a month in profit with your coaching business, and is exactly what I do with my clients. I'm a growth operator, right? I am both the marketer and the operator, and I come with my team. So that's how we're able to, going back here, within only 6 weeks, taking a restaurant as an example, from 4K a month to 57K a month profit in 6 weeks only, right? And it completely changes the business. So going on to the next part, now that we've discussed why it's important to have a growth operator in your team, which is what I do, what does the backend infrastructure typically involve? So it's basically everything that keeps your business running on autopilot. So a few examples here is creating an automated waitlist and landing page forms, doing the CRM and pipeline tracking, so capturing every lead, putting them into specific stages, creating opportunities, adding tags to them, and monitoring deal flow. All of the marketing automation, so email, SMS nurturing, pre, during, and post-launch, all of the reminders and to set up retargeting campaigns, all of the sales operations, so doing the follow-ups, having the dialers and the setters and potentially closers, depending on how high ticket you're selling, and also doing client onboarding automation. These are a few examples of what you can completely automate, and systemize in your entire business. So the definition of a system, by the way, is an input that triggers a process to happen and delivers an output. So imagine every task in your business that you have to do, that's technically an input. If you can put it into a system, either through automation or delegation, right, you massively reduce the need for manually doing certain tasks. And this also helps you maintain accuracy throughout the entire business. So it's a repeatable process. It happens once, 100 times, 1,000 times. So for example, if someone comes onto your landing page and submits a form to join the wait list, whether one person does it, 100 people do it, or 1,000, that entire process of the lead opting in to eventually being sold, like actually getting like investing in your product or service, that entire process, that customer journey is systematized, right? It's basically automated or delegated completely. You don't have to do anything. Like imagine having to onboard 1,000 clients at once, right? Or whatever it is that you do. Okay, so that's why it's important. You can really move a lot quicker. You can save so much time and your business can actually grow. So now we're going to go into the actual back end which we built out. It consisted pretty much of 2 steps. The step 1 was the actual acquisition method which we used, which was building a waitlist funnel. And then the conversion mechanism was selling a direct-to-cart $597 offer. Step 2 was selling the actual core offer, which was a 6 months cohort-based group coaching program with limited spots available. Okay, and here's the first marketing nugget I want to give you. When we talk about offer, and when you look at the offers of your own info coaching business, it typically consists of 5 different factors. The first one is the core offer. What are they actually buying? In the case of this audience, they were buying a 6 months cohort-based group coaching program. Okay. The second is the price point. Is it aligned with value or ascension? Meaning, when I introduce this new offer as an offer stack for my audience, can I upsell them onto another offer after they buy this? So from the cohort program, our upsell was high ticket one-to-one coaching. So we, raised the price of that. And this is the sweet thing. A lot of info coaching businesses doing millions a month in profit, right? They have some sort of ascension. They could have something like a very low ticket front end offer of, let's say, $100. And then all of a sudden, the super high ascension of $10,000, right? And this is the sweet thing about the info lottery protocol, which is what we implement in our clients' businesses. Is very flexible, and it depends on where your audience is and which offers would be best for your audience, right? So that's something to consider, the price point. It has to be aligned with value, and if you can put it into an ascension ladder, that would be really good. The third thing are the bonuses. So what sweetens the deal, right? If they buy the product or service now, what bonuses do they get? And this, aligns with scarcity. So we had the cart open over 7 days of the launch, which drives urgency and scarcity, because once it's gone, it's gone. And if you get it within these 7 days, you also get these bonuses. So that's a good thing as well. The final one is risk reversal. So what basically increases their chances of success with the program. And I learned this one from Jason Fladlian, which is an insane marketer. He's the guy, he's a webinar guy behind Alex Hormozi's and Iman Gadzhi's webinars. He's made, multiple 8-9 figures from webinars alone. And he says something really good, which I'll reiterate to you as inspiration. So sometimes people aren't just looking for what the thing they're investing in, like what it brings to them. For example, if you're helping someone start riding a bike, sometimes they don't care about the end result of learning how to ride a bike. They care about the risk involved with it. Could they get injured? Could they fracture their arm or leg? Could they, have a massive cut on their body somewhere, right? So an example of this would be, let's say I told you, if you buy a $5 lottery ticket, and if your lottery ticket wins, you will win $100 million. But there's a billion people also buying a ticket. So your chances of success are super low. So the risk is super high. There's no point buying it. Well, to an extent, there's no point buying it because the chance of you getting is super low. But what if I told you that if you buy this $5 ticket that I give you, then there's now going to be a pool of only 100,000 people. So you have a much higher chance of winning the lottery. Or even is going to be a pool of like 100 people. And one of the 100 people are going to win $100 million. You would buy that $5 ticket, right? So in terms of the marketing world, when you're selling your product or service, what this means is instead of always showing amazing case studies in your marketing, in your videos, content, whatever it is, like let's say you have a 95% student success rate, don't just show them the positive testimonials, show them the 5% of testimonials or case studies that went really bad, which like students didn't perform as well. Then explain it. It didn't go well for XYZ reasons. It could be, for example, they couldn't get this result because we didn't have this in the program, but that's why we're launching this new offer. It's brand new and it has this offer in it or deliverable mechanism that actually helps you get that result. And that's why this program is the best thing that we've ever launched, the flagship offer, whatever you want to frame it. So when students see that transparency, especially in the trust recession we're currently in, when no one trusts anyone online, if you can show them the bad things that have gone on with your students and explain why it's happened and how you're going to prevent it from happening to them when they invest in the program, that massively reverses the risk. People do this in the form of guarantee, like if you don't get the result in 30 days, I'll give your money back and I'll compensate you for your time, like give you $5,000, right? You could do that, you can do whatever you want, but reverse the risk of it basically. And that was part of the offer we done, but I'm just going to show you the core offer. That's what we done. And we made $57,000, right, in that month. So I just want to make it clear that you can make $57,000 in many different ways. Depends on the price point of the offer you're selling, whether it's $500 mid-ticket, similar to what we done, $2,000, $5,000, or $10,000, right? And you'd need a different number of people buying this. So I just want to state that depending on the price point is also going to affect the acquisition method and the conversion mechanisms you use. So in today's video, the mid-ticket product we launched has a very specific, infrastructure. But if we were to sell a different price point, then we would completely change it and it would be different. Okay, I just want to make that clear. So from here, let's finally go into how the backend actually looked like. So to start with the tech stack, we had 4 different softwares which we were using: ManyChat, Go High Level, Slack, and Zapier. In total, it was about $150 for the whole entire month to make $57,000, which is pretty sweet. Very lean tech stack. You don't need anything more for this specific type of launch. So the first thing we done is a very simple ManyChat automation. So whenever the lead comments, DMs, replies to story or live with a specific keyword, they get an auto comment and then an auto DM with a link to the waitlist landing page. They then click that waitlist landing page and they can opt into the waitlist. So just for NDA purposes, I've blurred it. So as you can see, people commenting waitlist, that was our keyword, and boom, they get hit with an auto comment, they get sent the waitlist landing page in the DMs basically, and they can sign up. We also had the waitlist page as link in bio, but on Instagram, if you tell people, if you write or tell people like click link in bio, then Instagram limits the reach of that specific post or reel, because Instagram wants you to keep everything on the platform. It wants you to farm engagement. So if you're trying to take them off Instagram, off the platform, Instagram, basically reduces the reach of it. So that's why, we had people engaging by commenting and stuff. The second one was go high level. So the first trigger was someone, submitting the opt-in form. So giving their name, email, and phone number. As soon as they submit this form, these automations kicked in straight away. All of this happened back to back within literally a second, okay? So they submit the form, then the lead's details was automatically added to a waitlist pipeline in Go High Level. So what a waitlist pipeline is, if you imagine, right, everyone who submits a form, the waitlist form, you now have their entire contact saved, right? Imagine like a spreadsheet of name, email, phone number with hundreds, thousands of people, however many people join, right? And this is a very clean list. It's separated from all of your other lists. And this is all stored within Go High Level, your CRM, okay? The reason this is amazing is because it's not like Google Sheets where it's just like a spreadsheet. You have pipelines in Go High Level. So essentially, you can track the specific stage of the customer journey the lead is in, whether they're unqualified, qualified, financially unqualified, financially qualified, and where they are in the sales funnel. So the whole thing of a pipeline is you can take people from left to right, from opting in to buying, right? You can track the exact process. With Google Sheets, is very manual. You would have to like manually add something to every single contact where they are in the journey. It's not really automated, but with Go High Level, you can automate where they are, like which stage they are in the pipeline, which makes it super valuable. Then automatically a tag is added to everyone in the waitlist, which allows us to remarket to them. Because if you have an email list of thousands, tens of thousands of people, we don't want to send an email selling this new offer to the entire email list because they didn't join the waitlist, they're not interested. So we only wanted to sell it to people who are on the waitlist. So by adding a tag, when you send an email, you can select contacts with that specific tag. So that was useful. We had an automatic ping to our private Slack channel. This is when my setters and dialers were on the phone ready. Within the first 5 minutes of getting a lead, they would either call or set the lead straight away. Because there's this stat of speed to lead in 5 minutes, like reaching out in 5 minutes, it increases the chances of converting the lead into a sale by 21x. This is something super important. A lot of people actually miss this out. And then they automatically received a waitlist welcome email. And this basically told them, congratulations on taking the step forward to enrolling into the waitlist. This is the date of when the program is going to start and you can start joining. And it also gave them some free resources, some freebies. We built this for the waitlist people before we started the waitlist, just to, again, as I said, going back here, to give them a bonus for joining the waitlist. Right? So, yeah, they received that waitlist welcome email. And we use a method called WTS, Whisper T Shout. And Luke Belmar done this really well. So essentially, what Luke Belmar done when he was launching Capital Club, his community, he made a bunch of emails, a bunch of content, because I was in these lists, I could see it. He kept saying like the 27th of August, 27th of August, 27th of August. He kept drilling the same date in the prospect's mind. And that keeps that date top of mind. And it highlights the date as being something super significant. Like something very important is going to happen on that date. Do not miss it out. He kept doing that in every email, every content piece. So he was whispering it. And then he started, giving the T and the shout, basically meaning after he talked about the date a few times, he then added one more layer to the date. So on the 27th of August, Capital Club is opening. So he associated the date with the program launch, right? So this is what we done. We basically reminded them of the date of the launch so that they make sure that they highlight it in their calendar. And then 3 nurturing emails were sent after the waitlist email. Obviously not back to back, it was spaced apart. And the whole point of these nurturing emails was to get the lead to know, like, and trust the creator. So we talked about the creator's story, showing case studies, even the bad ones, and also highlighting the pain points of the audience. The CTA of these emails was to get them to reply, just to farm engagement, and also have more touch points, making more of a journey the lead is going with you, not just signing up and having to buy from you, but getting them to interact with you, and also to improve email deliverability, because if they respond, it improves the health of your domain, basically. So that's what we done, and we just rinsed this basically. So whether one person submitted a form, 1,000 people, all of this was automatically done. Obviously, you would have to pre-write the emails, and that's it. You just add to create all of these automations, and it just happens. So literally, from the second, right? I just want to make this clear. From the second you upload a video as a content creator, you press submit, you leave it. Like, from that stage, people commenting, DMing, people going to waitlist landing page, giving their details, all the way to them joining the waitlist and receiving all of these emails to nurture them is completely automated. You just upload, done. One and done, basically. And that's the magic of this. And it happened 1,000 times. This is, sorry, 550 times. That's how many people we had on the waitlist. This is like the magic of systems, back-end systems. If you automate it, which is obviously what we built for our client, we've done this entire thing, including writing the emails, it's like it just works like clockwork, right? And that's the most important thing. So finally, so that went on for 2 weeks. We were just collecting a bunch of leads over 2 weeks, and then we launched over 7 days. Now, over the 7 days, this is a bit more of a marketing nugget I wanted to give you. It's not really directly part of a back-end infrastructure, but in case you're writing your launch emails, this could help you a lot. So the launch emails we wrote basically follow these 3 stages: opportunity, transformation, and ownership. What this means is you want to first show the lead the opportunity. So by investing in this thing you're launching, what can they achieve? You make them aware, okay? You show them the opportunity, because no one's going to buy from you if they're not aware of how it's going to help them. Then you want to include aspects of transformation. This is showing your case studies, as many as possible. Like, my client had thousands of testimonials, right? And you don't need thousands, it's fine. Even if you have tens or even 10, that's fine as well. But show them that other people have gone through this process and they have achieved it. So now the prospect is thinking, okay, I see the opportunity. Okay, this is working. This guy's actually helped, or this girl's actually helped lots of people. The final stage is ownership, getting them to believe that they can be that transformation. Is one thing believing other people doing it, and it's another thing believing that you can do it. So a part of this is handling the limiting beliefs, the mental obstacles they have, touching on pain points, so on and so forth. You can touch on this in your email list, in your content, in so many different ways. Like, there's so much flexibility you can do, but this is the foundational principle, okay? And once you've taken a lead from here to here, like, they're inevitably, they know, they like, and they trust you. They're going to invest in you. We even had this one person respond to the emails we done, because over those 7 days, when we sent the emails every day, as the days went on in the launch towards the end of the 7 days, you know, I sent more and more emails. On the last day, we sent 6 emails. You might think that's crazy, but as long as you're monitoring open rate, it's not downtrending, then you can keep sending emails as long as it's, you know, valuable, and also telling them to click the payment link, basically, right? So again, the $51,000 from this launch happened completely through email. Some guy even responded to the email that I like we wrote like on the later days, and said, like, if you have someone writing this for you, like, this is an insane copy, right? Like, copyright, like insane message. And he eventually bought the program just from the copywriting. Okay, so the reason that's funny is because I knew nothing about freediving before working with my client, like before the 6 weeks. Maybe it's because I'm from London and all we do is play football. That's all we know. I'm sure there's beaches, and yeah, of course there's beaches in London. There's like water in London, but I never knew about freediving. I've never heard about it. Literally, I worked with my client, and boom, 6 weeks later, and you know, we cash collected $57,000. So the reason that's impressive is because I didn't need to spend over a decade doing the sport like my client does. I don't need to do what my client does, whether that's my client doing trading, if that's his expertise or her expertise, if they're doing e-com, if they're doing Amazon FBA, whatever it is that they do. Copywriting mastery comes down to how well you do your market research, which is why I was able to tailor all of the copywriting, even in the emails, to my client's exact target audience, right? Because we done market research correctly. We're not going to go through that in this video, but that's just to give you context. Before you go back here, before you consider your traffic sources, you're creating your acquisition methods and creating your conversion mechanisms. Before you do that, you need to start with market research. And there's many ways of doing this and many ways of not doing this. But that's what's amazing about it, and that's the power of market-driven marketing. Shout out to Seth Godin. Um, Basically, making your marketing market-driven. So you don't try to make products or services based off what you think your audience wants. You make it based off what your audience wants. Like you ask them, like, what would you want to see in this program? That's why it done really well. So far we've discussed, you know, why if you leave out or ignore your backend infrastructure, like all of the consequences that come with it, and if you truly want to tap into your potential and actually earn hard-earned money to have predictable, very easy cash flow month to month, whilst doing only high-level work and basically automating, delegating everything else, so that you can actually scale like my client did to, $57,000 a month. 14x's business, you might already be making $50,000 a month, but the same principle applies from $50,000 a month to $250,000 a month, and so on and so forth, right? So the same principles apply. It's the back end systems, and also how you cannot be alone doing this. It's the info market is way too advanced now, and that's why I growth operate for my clients. That's why I work with them. And then we went into the tech stack and how we actually ran the info lottery infrastructure, right, which is part of the the process I have. So yeah, finally, next steps for you, right? This is really going to help you and actually help you take this video and put it into actionable next steps. So basically, map your own traffic sources, acquisition method, and your conversion mechanism. Look at the offers you're currently selling, products or services. Where is the traffic coming from? The people who buy, where did they come from? Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, where did it come from? Acquisition methods, how did they buy? Like, what was the method you used to pull them in? Okay, was that a link in bio? Was that a product page? Was it through email? What was it? And finally, your conversion mechanism. This depends on the ticket of your the ticket of your offer, like how is a low, mid, or high ticket. So look into that as well. So map it all out completely, because usually when you see it on a piece of paper, you can see things you can improve for next time. The second thing I want you doing is which 80% of the tasks of what you're currently doing inside your info coaching business, which of them should you automate or delegate? There's 80% of things you're currently doing which you shouldn't be doing, right? And if it's nothing to do with recording content or coaching your clients, don't do it. Everything else you need to automate or delegate, or that's why I come in as a growth operator and I take over everything. And I think it's a Pareto principle where 20% of tasks in the business leads to 80% of the overall growth, which is profit driven. So there's 80% of things you should be doing. And the third thing is, which numbers do you need to hit to 10x your business? If you're making 5K a month, how can you make 50K a month? What do you need to 10x? If you're making 50K a month, how can you make 500K a month, right? Example. So map this out for you right now, and take screenshots. Feel free to do what you want to do. Very useful. And finally, if you are an info coaching business and you want a shortcut to 10xing your coaching business from pretty much anywhere, 5 to 50K, 50K to 500K a month, or multiple 6 figures a month in profit, then you can book your meeting call with me down below. It's just a welcome call. I will go into the specific problems you're facing with your business and see if it's a right fit. We don't work with everyone. We're not going to work with everyone because simply there's a specific ICP we work with. Or you can DM me on Instagram at Ramez Raseek with any questions you have, and I'm more than happy to help. So until next time, I hope this video was useful, and I'll speak to you really soon.